coming to you live from As Jim Sees It, the only channel that is uploading at this time right now on a live feed. It's worth watching. I have a mild confession. I've been using AI to help me draft content. And you know what happened? Absolutely nothing. So I'm making all the content, but I had ChatGPT help me with the hashtags. And I still got the same amount of views. So I guess that means that I'm just not interesting enough. And that's okay. Because in 41 weeks, I'm cutting my hair, I'm canceling the channel, and I'm going to go be an EMT. It's a 4-month program here in California. And then I'm probably going to go back to Arizona. Because the dream is gone. When a prophet comes to town and then he dies, he must leave. And I am the prophet, the Ventura prophet. If I succeed, which I believe I'm going to, well now, it'll make for quite an interesting amount of uploads, won't it now? Nobody's on yet, that's okay. We'll keep going. We'll stay on for about 1 hour. And then we'll move along. So, if anybody was on, I would ask if there's any interesting questions you have regarding the channel or anything of that nature. But nobody's on, so that's not happening. We are still waiting for our lovely people to come on to the channel As Jim Sees It. Hello, hello. We have 2 people, 1 like. B. Hernandez and Hi H. Angel. Boxing historian. Ooh, heck yeah. Shut up, tweaker. Oh, I don't think so, my friend. I have the 2nd like. Yeah, who's going for the 3rd? Perry D, what's up, my man? All right, we got 20 of you. Listen, I gotta make it to 500 on them subscriptions. This channel is totally busy, man. Give us a subscription. Give me a high five on that camera. Woo! Yeah, subscribe. Let's get all you to hit that subscribe button, man. Let's get them numbers pumping. Oh, you got 4th. Heck yeah, Lily. Heck yeah, Darren Carter. What's up, Perry D? I got you. I was staying here for the whole entire time. Heck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes it takes a little while to go through the feed. So, if you checked out what this channel's about, this is about a human being who decided to leave the conventional life after spending years in the creative process, working 1 to 2 to 3 different jobs at a time and saying, hey, I'm going for broke, because I've read about so many different artists like Bukowski, Morrison, all these different famous beatnik hippie artists that decided they were going to go the backward path and go down that unconventional road and see if the magic happens. I'm eating beef ravioli. Tonight I had fish and rice for my dinner. So, I wrote a screenplay called The Last Vigilante. I'm working on part 2. I moved to Ventura, which is an hour from Los Angeles and Hollywood. Some of you may be thinking, why would you not live in Los Angeles down in Hollywood? And I'll tell you why. because it's a shithole. That's right. It's riddled with crime, rich and poor, and the energy is just way too much. So what we do is I go down there once every 2 weeks, and you can check out the latest episode of As Jim Sees It, week 41, and see how it went. I visited a studio, and I was certain they were going to be like, get out of here, go get an agent, and they didn't. Some positive stuff happened. And not to jump the gun and to stay on the story, keep moving forward, but along with Perry D, hey man, listen, you could get brown rice for $1.25 at Dollar Tree, and dude, you mix it with the salmon, the lime salmon that's in a bag, Star-Kissed, and it is amazing. All right, we got 18 of you. I need all you to go and subscribe, man. Hit that like button, subscribe. If you don't want notifications, I get it. Let's just get that number up there, man. That's all we need. Because listen, if I can pull just a minimum amount of money to make more content, I'm telling you, I'm your guy. I'm not here to get famous. I'm not here to exploit people's emotions like so many channels do. I'm not a historian. I really don't give a fuck about much except trying to enjoy my life. And I, with absolute certainty, will make sure that you enjoy your life too if you subscribe to this channel. Rachel Long, hello. Oh, Dollar Tree in California has this milk, right? This is what's good about it. Number one, it's in a quart, which gives you the perfect amount. And this is sitting on the shelf. It's got a shelf life of a year, right? So you can have it, and it can be warm and not cold, and it helps you. It's good for you. So, a lot of you are new, I know that. Let's go over what the last vigilante is about. So, a narcotics detective is framed for murder and has to take down a ruthless cartel leader who holds all the cards. Kelly Vegas is in a race against time to stop Mesa Santos, even if that means having to cross a moral road to do so. Stay tuned. Hopefully coming to theaters soon, The Last Vigilante. So what that's called is a log line. A lot of you are going, what's a log line? It sounds like somebody on the toilet taking a shit. Well, it's not. A log line is where you pitch a full sentence to a potential person who can get your movie directed, or to an agent, or to people that want to invest. And again, all right, I'll get to the questions in just 1 second. Again, you got to have a log line, and then you got to have a synopsis, right? A synopsis, I can give you that. I don't have that memorized right now. A synopsis is what you send to people online via email or pitch fests, online pitch fests. I'm going to be doing an online pitch with a lady in mid-November. I'll be doing that live on the feed. It'll also be one of the... All right, so our stream was interrupted. We still got 2 of you here. Sorry about that. I had the heat blasting. And, of course, I've got an iPhone, so it automatically shuts down. So, a pitch fest is what you do is you pitch. Perry D, it's just me and you, player. So you pitch your idea, your movie, and hope that it gets to the right person, to where B. Hernandez, what's going on, brother? And hope it gets to the right person so you can get a little bit of money out of your work, essentially is what it is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pitch the idea of working. I'm here to get a job. I'm not here to be the next Quentin Tarantino. I'm not here to be the next Martin Scorsese. I'm not here to be an actor. I have no desire to be in front of the cameras because I'm a nut. I'm a wild card, man. I would get in trouble. People, there's times I tell people, like, if you fuck with me again, it's not going to be good. You know what I mean? If I had cameras and pictures and people scrutinizing me all the time, I don't know if I could handle it. I'd be like, dude, shut your fucking mouth. You know, and then people would just eat me alive. So, I didn't leave. My phone overheated. So, what I'm trying to do is just get a job where I'm behind the scenes writing. I wouldn't mind watching something get produced or being a part of the lighting, being a part of something like that. But again, I just, there's something so fascinating to me about cinema, and it's a new art. That's what I learned when I was in college. It's brand, ding, 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 ding. There we go. There's just something really fascinating about cinema. It's an art that's new, and it captivates people, man. Like, the only time I've ever been able to forget about the world and not have any stress whatsoever is when I sit down and watch a movie. Even if it's a bad one, dude. Like, my mind is just gone when I'm watching film. And I want to create that for somebody. I want to be a part of that. You know what I mean? And if I'm not meant to be, though, hence why we're on a countdown, I'm walking away. I went to school 7 years ago. And I finished, no, I mean, dude, I went to school almost 10 years ago, right? I was in it for 3 years in art, and then COVID hit, and I just didn't see the reason. I thought I had the necessary tools to move forward in the direction that I was aiming for. And I jumped on this, adventure. I got a bus, originally was going to head to Florida, try to sell the screenplay there. Some things didn't work out. And here we are in a van down in California now. So, yeah, but in a nutshell. So, like I said, in November, I'm going to be giving away my first online pitch, not giving away, but, pitching to somebody to see if the idea is good enough. I don't expect my first door it ain't the first door that I've knocked on, but I don't expect they're going to be like, yes. If they do, great. I know what the plan is, but again, I'm going to approach them and say, hey, I'm looking for a job. That's why I'm here. I don't want to just go, here you go, give me an allotted amount of money, give me a percentage off whatever the screenplay is, and then we're on our way. And that may be how the business is. If that's how it is, fine. Let's do it, man. Rock and roll. Let's get the party started. Hey, new subscriber! Woo! So if I can get a job where it'd be like, hey, I would love to work with a team of writers, man. If you guys got little projects that give me a residual income all the time, let's get it, man. I'll do it, Woo! Subscribe! Woo! Let's do it. You know what I mean? I just want a job. I want a job doing something that I believe in, that gives me value, that centers me. At the end of the day, all the stress was worth the sweat, and I can sit back, relax, drink my milk, eat my peanut butter, and say, oh yeah, man, sweet. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Isn't that crazy? 67 days until Christmas. All right, man, does anybody have any questions? They're normal questions. I'm going to get on this convo. Let's not talk about the pagan holiday. Let's talk about the All Saints Day coming up, October 31st, Halloween. What do I do for work? Well, I have, right now I'm currently working 2 jobs. I do Uber Eats. I sell, if you go on to my community page, that art that I always post, it's digital surrealism. I actually call it digital graffiti because I don't think it's fair to say that I'm a surrealist because I don't paint it. I believe that I could paint it down the road. I do plan on seeing if I can dabble in that. but I call it digital graffiti because I take a picture of different areas that I'm in and then I morph them. And people say it's surrealism, but I call it digital graffiti. So I sell those. I have 2 stores here in Ventura that are carrying those. I actually just signed a contract today with a guy, and he's going to be he's carrying my first piece over there. I only put 1, and then if I sell 1, I'll sell 2. My third job is I give away free samples at Costco. I can't think of the name of the company, and I don't want to say it just in case they have some kind of like thing where you can't use a copyright, because I did run into that with the studios on the recent upload. Hence the word, if you go check out yesterday's upload, every once in a while it'll say this is a copyright. Like I was talking about the company, and they actually got my video taken down, said it was harassment, even though I wasn't harassing anybody. Anyhow, so that's my primary income. And then I train a guy in strength and conditioning. I was a mixed martial artist for 6 years and a Muay Thai fighter. And I learned the in and outs of strength and conditioning, and I never stopped training strength and conditioning. And I've always trained people. I'm pretty proficient at it. I believe in fitness. I believe in health. I believe that people deserve to feel good, and as they age, they need to be more flexible, mobile, and strong. And I provide that service. So those are my residual incomes. The reason I'm living in the van is so I don't have to work 50 hours a week to survive, because the 40-hour work week is a joke unless you're making $60,000 a year and you're single. You have to work 50 hours a week minimum. So I knew the only way I was going to be able to achieve this goal is if I had minimal amount of overhead, meaning rent, electric, all that stuff, and maximal amount of output of time and energy to where I could work like 30 hours. But here's the one good part about this. So I'm working 20 hours, and right now I'm making enough to sustain food, my car payment, and my car insurance. Sometimes I got to do laundry by hand. You can see that on some of the episodes. You could see that I'm having to use a bucket with soap and water, and then use a dryer sometimes. So if I could get 500 subscribers, it might bring me a little money, or maybe the algorithm will toggle to where I'll get like 10,000, to where I can maybe get like, $100 a month from YouTube, which would help tremendously. You know what I mean? So, and what I'm doing is I've been journaling this whole thing, right? Let's say you're a person that's got a dream. You're a human being that says, hey, I want to go to college, but I don't want to work full time and take out a bunch of school loans, right? Or you don't want any school loans, and you want to be able to work 30 hours a week, and you're a human being that's so fucking driven and has so much energy to do that. You're like, what do I do to cut my overhead? Dude, I'm going to tell you first thing. You need to buy yourself a van or a Transit Connect or one of those vehicles or one of the Mercedes and convert it. And if you go into my earlier episodes from a year ago, I show you how to do a basic conversion from A to B. I show you all the tools you need, all the basic things you need. I tell you the right wood to use, the most inexpensive ways to use. It's very minimal. All you need is a tape measure, a drill bits. If you want to be super prestigious about it, and remember, the less is more, especially when you're converting a vehicle. Because if you want to sell the vehicle and you want to give it back to the dealership or whatever, you want to rip that thing apart, less is more. So you can go check out those episodes. That was the start of the journey. I'm like, okay, well, once I build this thing, I'm going to go hit the road. I'm going to do some stuff like hike the Grand Canyon. I went over to Arizona. There's a bunch of footage from Arizona you can check out. 492 subs on 10 videos. Oh, that's awesome, dude. Good for him, man. That's good for him, dude. Great job. Tell him good job, man. Nomad Land? Have I seen that video? Is that the one with the Bob? If it's the Bob guy, so here's what's kind of weird is I was supposed to interview with that guy. That was one of the main reasons I went to Arizona. I drove 3,000 miles and I ended up having to work. So I had to cancel the interview, dude. I was so upset. And I didn't cancel it like, I asked the lady, I'm like, hey, can you just give me 1 week they put me on at work because I was working at a gas station in Arizona. I needed to get money, you know. And she goes, yeah, you're gonna have to wait till February. I'm like, I can't wait till February. Like, I drove down here specifically for this. Like, I'll drive to you guys. I know they were in Quartzsite, Arizona, and she just didn't want to do it. So I'm like, okay. Wasn't that like a waste of fuel? I mean, woo! Best Wimp subscribed! Welcome to the tribe. We are the unstoppable tribe. I just love saying that. I just started it. Okay, a waste of fuel? No, I wouldn't say it's a waste of fuel because I got like some really badass memories from that, dude. I went to Utah. I hiked some mountains. It was the first time I went out and saw like cows just like roaming on the highway. I seen beautiful places. I got to what else did I do? I was in Arizona. I hiked the north rim of the Grand Canyon 4 miles by myself. I set some personal records as far as like strength and conditioning. So it wasn't a waste, man. None of this adventure has been a waste. That's what I do know. So let's just say this whole thing doesn't manifest, right? It doesn't happen. I don't meet the goal. That's not my mindset. I just want to make that very clear. There's variables. So when I was in Florida, one of the variables was I got diagnosed with cancer. Ended up having to go back to Ohio and finding out when they pull the thing out of my neck, there's a scar for it. It wasn't cancer. So that was like an unpredictable variable. Let's say there's a variable of, I don't know. I don't even want to think about the variables because that's why they're the word variable, because I can't think of them. I can't predict them. Something happens, man. And I it doesn't happen, you know, like I'm walking away. I'm going to say, all right, I gave hats off. I gave it my all. It was 15 years of pushing to find a creative outlet, and it didn't happen. So, I mean, onward and forward, man, I think is what onward and onward and forward, or forward and onward, or something that Jordan Peterson says that I think is like super effective and super efficient in maintaining an aim and a direction to keep yourself in a mode of being that you find is useful and happily whole, you know. So, you know, if that's the case, then it's done. All right, an Alaskan native. All right, you're a real Eskimo. All right, sweet. Hey, so my one friend Dave is from Alaska. Is it like in the 6 months of night yet, or no? I'm just waiting to see what everybody says. When I get all silent like that, I'm just like, let's get it going. Get the party started. Nice to hear from you, dude. Woo! Welcome to the tribe! Yeah! Ink droplets. Now, I'm going to guess you're a tattoo guy. Hell yeah, Perry. Get in on it. Get in on it. Yeah! Woo! All right! This is the channel for men, by men, for men. Woohoo! All right. It's too bad I couldn't like hit like a button that like gives off a huge like thing. Get that milk in there. Yeah, I try to keep it fun, man. Listen, you guys, I am not going to lie to you, man. There are days where I get up and I just want to fucking go like this, right? You ready to hear the horn? Like as soon as I wake up, I'm like, why do I keep pursuing this? It's so stupid. I'm so stupid and crazy. Because you know how this all started? I'll tell you. It started from a dream. So I was working 3 jobs, right? And This is my tobacco alternative. I was working 3 jobs and I was just miserable, right? Five, I had entered the screenplay into 5 contests and I made it all the way to almost getting pitched. I made it to like the 4th door and they cut me. And I was like, dude, I started crying. I took a break. I'm like, okay, maybe this was a stupid idea, you know? And, I had just went and got 2 jobs and was training people, working at a gas station 3rd shift, Ubering during the day, and then working. Oh man, I was working 4 jobs, dude. No wonder I was miserable. And I was what was the other thing I was doing? I was working for a bingo company, right? And wow, I just realized I was working 4 jobs, man. And I still wasn't like, I still had like just enough money, and I hadn't even gotten this van yet. I just had enough money to pay the bills. I mean, it was crazy, dude. And I got really, really, really suicidal, and I went to therapy, and I did EMDR therapy, and I had these concepts I came up with, and I started reading them every morning to like be a better man and a more spiritual man. They were definitely biblical in context. And the one night I had a dream, right? And this, before let me backtrack. So I go on this well-needed vacation to a place in Arizona called Cooks Forest, Pennsylvania. And it's in Cooksburg. And when I'm there, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go in my car and I'm going to lift up my seats, move them forward. I'm going to stay in my trunk all week and I'm not going to move. And I parked in front of a fire, and dude, I would get up and shower for like 45 minutes at a time because it had like the best hot water. It's like a perfect, those showers you take. I'll put a shorts feed up tomorrow. If you guys want me to stream tomorrow, I can stream tomorrow, but it's the live feeds. It's like once a week. If you want, go check out the community page, post on the community page, say, hey, could you stream at this time tomorrow? And I will meet that. You know what I mean? I will do that because you guys are helping me. So, I mean, in turn, I'm going to, if people are subscribed to the channel and they ask me to do stuff, I'm going to do it. So, I'm not streaming tomorrow. I'll be on the channel tomorrow. Just a heads up, somebody's sending messages that I view, because there's certain words, if you put them on there, I make it so you can't, it won't be seen by other people, because I don't want idiots sending threats or putting weird stuff or stupid stuff. So anyhow, I was I had a dream, I remember. Well, right now it is 7 p.m. Yeah, 7 p.m. It's the golden hour in Hollywood. So I go there and dude, something just overcame me and just said, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing right now, man? You're working. In my head, I was working 3 jobs, but it was actually 4. And you're in therapy and you're not doing anything that you set out to do. What are you doing? And it was this intuitive voice that was whispering to me, like, it was like little waves. And I would just sit there and thought, man, and like people would be like, what's going on with you? And I go, I just think that I'm living the wrong life. I don't think I'm doing what's in my heart. I'm like, well, you'll figure it out. So I thought, you know what? I'm on vacation. I'm being irresponsible because I just get to lay around. And I laid in my trunk and I made it all comfortable, and I just laid there and it wouldn't stop, dude. And I was so relieved and laughed and had so much fun, and it wouldn't stop. The feeling of freedom and happiness and and joy. And I drove home, right? At the end of all that. So I get back to Ohio. I lay down to take a nap, and I have this dream. It was I can't describe to you the serenity that I had in it. It was like all pain, all suffering, all anxiety, everything was gone. And it was a huge tree, dude. Huge tree. And it was like 20 feet round and like 20 foot high, but it was cut in half. Half the tree was missing. And I'm like, huh. And it said, return to the wild. Intuitively, it spoke to my guts. And I'm like, what? And I woke up, and as soon as I woke up, dude, the reality and the stress and the anxiety and the suffering of being alive that you have at times, because it's inevitable, right? When you get older, it's you understand it as the keys to the kingdom of wisdom, right? If you make it through that door of suffering, you learn something new, and it waited on me, and I'm like, that's it. And I got to a point where I was like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back out to my goal. I'm going to go back to my goal, and I'm going to go to this place. And if I'm able to get a loan, then I'll know that it was legit. I've never had a loan in my life. I've never had anything material, right? I've lived in barns in the middle of winter without any heat, going to college and going to work, playing music every night, writing, studying, taking tests and failing. And the reason I failed was because I was so cold that I couldn't remember the words, And then I'd go into college, and the teacher didn't like me in particular. It was an English teacher. And I would fail, and then I would go back and take it again, man. So I went through literally the 9th level of hell in Dante's Inferno. And I made a decision that I was going to go for my goal. And some family stuff happened that gets me upset just even talking about it. Some family stuff happened, and I gave up my goal, and I went there for my family, and it just wasn't in the cards, man. I got fired from the job I was working. It was a good job. I had health insurance. Everything was, I was being responsible, and I got this battery for my vehicle, right? It was a solar powered battery, and the first one I got fried out the first time I plugged it in, and I was going to use it for electric and doing the van life. I had met a girl, I started to like her, and so I go back, and they're like, okay, well, it's going to take a week to get your money. I'm like, what do you mean it's going to take a week to get my money? They're like, it's going to take 1 week to get your money. I'm like, okay. So 2 weeks later, and a number of phone calls, I go up there. They're like, well, okay, we're going to give you a new battery. And I'm like, I don't want a new battery. I want my money back. And they're like, okay. So then it took probably another week. I got fired, and I got the money, and I did the math, and I said, dude, 1 year, you got $500. You got a car payment coming up. You have enough money and $200 to last you to go and try to sell your movie. Give it 1 year. And if you fail, you gave it your all. You gave it your all, dude. Get the hell out of here and go sell your movie. And I got my clothes from that girl's house. I got in my vehicle and I left. And came to LA. And it's been 2 months. And we're down to 40 weeks to try to sell the movie. And that's how it all started. It was all stemmed from a dream. So there's days I wake up, dude, and I'm like, this was the dumbest fucking move of my life. This was the craziest, stupidest thing I could have done. But what was my option? Work 4 jobs until I had a stroke or a heart attack or a nervous fucking breakdown? You know, at least if this doesn't work, if everything goes wrong and I lose it all and I have to start back from scratch, at least I know I gave it my all. I fought 13 rounds in a 10-round fight, motherfucker. That's what I did. And I know that. I know that through and through. Balls to bone. No way, no shape or form will I ever look back on my life with any regret, man. None whatsoever. I know that I gave it my all. That's why I'm doing this channel. That's why I'm doing this journey. That's why I'm on this adventure. That's why I'm not going to ever, ever, ever discourage anybody. If you got a goal, and I mean you got something in you that screams louder than the highest mountaintop, and everybody around you says you can't do it, it's crazy, don't do it, go. You go. You do that. You follow that goal. Whatever that goal is, man, it may be small. You know, again, I'm not saying like do something stupid. I'm saying something that makes you feel whole, that'll make the world a better place, that makes you feel complete, that's not going to harm people in the process. Because I've had goals that did that. You know what I mean? I had goals that totally did that. Like one of my goals was to be a professional fighter and then coach guys for the rest of my life. Now, those are totally admirable things. And if I could, I'd still be doing it, dude. I'd still be coaching guys. With all my heart. I'd still be, but it wasn't in the cards. And I accepted it and I moved on. And that was like a thing. I'm getting beat in the head every day. You know what I mean? My body's taking beatings that I still suffer from today. But I wouldn't trade it for $1 million. So anyhow, that's beside the point. But if you got to go, you got to get it. You got to go. You got to move. And when your time is up, you got to admit it and say, okay, I gave it a 13 round. I gave it 13 rounds in a 10-round fight. If you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, I gave it 13 rounds in a 10-round fight, then that's it. Doesn't matter what anybody thinks, doesn't matter what anybody says, doesn't matter how other people feel. That's it. So I'm giving it 13 in a 10-round fight. And we'll see what happens, right? All right, everybody. You have a good night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the subscribers. Later.